with our first virtual OFP meet that we have organized. When I was talking to Dr. Suresh Nair sir this morning, we realized that this is the first time an OFP meet is happening in the month of July. Usually, we wait for the rainy season to go and then we begin with our OFP meets. But fortunately, this time we are ahead of time. We're early, and I think we'll do much more than what we have done so far. Um,
Oh,
Today's webinar is quite interesting, and definitely we'll hear a lot about the idea behind it, objective behind it from our founder, chairman of OFP, Dr. Tushar Guha sir. We are going to have series of it. I will not get into that, but let me first thank and welcome the host school principal, Dr. Sangeeta Srivastav ma'am, who has been kind enough to allow us host this OFP meet on through her platform. She has been doing these webinars every Friday since the time this online platform has been one of the favorites of all the educators. Thank you so much, ma'am, and I welcome you to give the welcome address for the group.
thank you very much, Girish Dalvi sir. Um, Actually, you don't need to thank me. I need to thank you for choosing us to hold this first virtual OFP seminar here on our portal. This Our portal is not any formal group or something. We just a few principals gathered together and we decided that we will hold one or the other sessions once in a week and bring in important issues and get together, because now days after the lockdown we were not able to meet each other and we were not able to have meetings that like we used to have. So this platform enabled us to come together, and we have been holding, held quite a few very useful ones, and this is our ninth meet, and I'm so happy and I feel honored to welcome all of you, Dr. Tushar Guha, the founder and chairman of OFP, as well as Nityanjali, and I'm also very much pleased to welcome Rohan Bhatt sir, uh, chairman of one of the leading schools of India. And we all principals look up to you, Rohan sir and Rohit sir, for the way you conduct your school and the way you handle everything. You are our leader. So I can say that I'm very happy today to hold the OFP meet here. I can see Rekha Vijayakar ma'am, a very senior person amongst us. You are a role model, Rekha ma'am. We also have Rekha Shahani ma'am. She has been coming to our web meets, and she's also a very senior person, and we take our motivation from all of you. With this, I want to hand over back to Girish Dalvi sir, feeling very honored. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Um, Something that I want to share with the group about Sangeeta ma'am again is I find it very special and very connected to education. She's turned her hobby into inspiration for her students. Every morning, I believe that she records something beautiful pieces. She hums them, sings them, and then sends it across to all her students. It's a beautiful way of beginning the day. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's always a pleasure to listen to your songs that are so inspiring. Uh,
Thank you, Girish sir.
Thank you. Coming back to our next phase is to know the purpose, the objective behind this whole initiative. I would like to welcome Dr. Tushar Guha, who does not need an introduction, but he's someone who people love to listen to, and sometimes only to meet him also is an honor. So we are fortunate that we work with him regularly. So we are with him. So welcome, sir. Please share with us what is the whole purpose and objective behind taking this initiative and encouraging us to take it forward.
Thank you, Girish sir. Uh, my namaskar to all of you. The head of OFP, Sima Sablok ma'am, convener of Maharashtra chapter, Dr. Suresh Nair, our patrons, both Rohan sir as well as Rekha Vijayakar ma'am are also here. When the lockdown started, and then we all realized now, God knows when schools will reopen. So obviously the next choice was online teaching, and majority of us are not very conversant with online teaching. It has its own hazards. And what every school principal started doing is they started experimenting and bringing in innovative ideas. Now, I'm very blessed and fortunate that I'm constantly in touch with principals across the country, and I get a lot of inputs because of the interactions that I have. And I started realizing that since we are all working so hard, and OFP, when it was formed, was primarily, it is a platform. We are a apolitical body. So it has been formed primarily to share knowledge, share our experience, our wisdom, and our exposure. So I thought, even in this field, why shouldn't we do it? And naturally, as I said, I was constantly in touch. I'm constantly in touch with Rohan sir. I mean, it's not only for this, for a lot of things. Similarly, with our Mrs. Revati Srinivasan madam. And I found that every school is coming out with innovative ideas. So I felt, keeping in mind the principles of OFP, why don't we come together and share the initiatives we take? I have purposely not called it as best practices, because all our practices are best, because all of us are very sincerely trying to do something. Now, what exactly happens when we are planning to teach online? There are two aspects of it. Is how to make the module, and the other one is how to teach. In both, we need to keep in mind the content in keeping with the syllabus and curriculum. Then the audience. Audience is who? The children, and I think all of us know, the parents. So the teaching technique, once the module is made, and the teaching technique also has to be, I mean, the teachers need to be groomed. I feel very pained that I find the teachers working up to 1 or 2 in the morning, sending informations to the students and the parents for the next day class, because majority of them, as I always say, are ladies. So they have to look after the household chores and every little thing after that they do. So late they work, and the principal's job is primarily to keep them motivated. And yet, at the end, this group of people are receiving the brickbats. All of us know that it is very difficult to please the parents. So what we can do, maximize, is in the maximum level as to how we can reduce our own tension and better ourselves. And we are having geniuses among all of us. And so if each one of them come forward and share, and in this, Rohan sir has always been telling me, because I have been knowing him for more than 30 years. So I know that he has been experimenting, he has been sharing with people. So when I was just the other day talking to him, he said, sir, I am willing to come forward. I said, that I know, always he will do. And so therefore I thought, let him be the first one. And we are planning the series of this kind of interactions we'll have, which Girish sir will be giving you more information about it. And I felt, not only me, when I interacted with Suresh sir, Seema ma'am, as well as Revati ma'am, who are our committee members, they at once agreed. They said, yes, sir, it would be a wonderful thing for us to do. And we are. And so naturally, the first thing fell on Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava ma'am, and she was so happy and willingly, she was willing to host it. And here we are, therefore we have gathered together. We will be listening to Rohan sir, how he has prepared the module, because you know something that when I was interacting with him, I'd like to share this, because me being a performing artist, we depend a lot on scripts. You know, we always have a script, which in films we call is screenplay. And you know, I was so touched that he actually prepares a script for the teachers as to how long they should speak and when they should stop and when a video should come. And that actually touched me. I said, that's amazing. It's something like as if I was going on stage or I was doing a film shooting. And I was very tickled with the whole idea that even in online teaching, because essentially online teaching is, I mean, teaching itself is a performance, but online teaching is more because we are unable to see the audiences, just like films, but the audience is able to see us. With that, I think I also welcome all of you and for joining us. And let us, and any of you who would like to share it, do get in touch with us. Would like to have this kind of webinars constantly so that we can share our knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure all of us have understood the foundation of the entire exercise that we'll be having in series for the next 2 months. We have great principals like Sangeeta ma'am, Revati ma'am, and others who have come forward to support us host these meetings. I will be sharing this itinerary with you shortly. But let me come to the main attraction of today. All of us are very eager to listen to Dr. Rohan Bhatt. I should say doctor because even if it is not technically a PhD, but we all know the kind of involvement that he has been having in his school. He definitely has taken it from his father, but the way he has grown from 1 school to 3 schools and still continue to polish it more and more to make it more easy for the teachers and the students to learn better is something that I appreciate. I also have seen how Children's Academy has grown because it's been more than 2 decades association. I cannot not mention here informally though that I also am happy to share my birthday with Rohan sir. So all of you, those who don't know my birthday, but know Rohan sir's birthday will know when we what is our birthdays. So Rohan sir, without much ado, let me invite you. Definitely, we cannot give you bouquets or any memento like that because it's virtual. So take our claps. I'm sure the audiences will be able to clap for him through the reaction button and welcome him to present his thoughts. Claps to Rohan sir and over to Rohan sir.
Give me 1 second, please.
Sure.
One small student has come to meet me and he wants to meet me and go. So I just finished that.
Zabardasti guys come out of home today.
God bless you. Yeah.
What do you say?
Bye bye.
What do you say? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll meet you tomorrow, later on. Very sorry.
No problem.
Yeah. So let us start. First of all, let me thank Tushar Sir and Girish and Sangeeta madam and everyone for giving me this opportunity to speak a few words on online education, which is the buzzword for today nowadays, because we cannot survive without that. I think for some time now in future also. It may not be called as a new norm, but at least it's a temporary norm that we have to live with that, and that is the only way we can communicate with our children. So it is nothing, as Tushar Guha sir was telling, this is nothing but a sharing of experience, because what I was talking to Girish and Sangeeta and all is that everybody is doing something on their own. We can only share our experience because none of us has got expert certificate on that. Everybody is innovating, everybody is making changes, everybody is learning something new. And what you see now in front of you, what I am going to discuss is nothing but our experience and what we have done. And there may be many things to add. Only when I see other people also sharing their experiences practically, that exactly what is being done, maybe we'll also be able to make some more changes in our program and make it more robust. Because this is, as we said, that this is something which is very, very important now, because there is no alternate to that. Many state governments have banned some classes, this classes, that classes, okay, but they have not been able to come out with an alternate. I don't mind if there is an alternate. I am also not a very big fan of screen time, but we have to understand the realities of today, that it is not going to be an easy task, and some kind of education has to go on. It can never replace the face-to-face teaching which we do in our classroom. Whatever people may say, however advanced we may become, but the charm of a face-to-face teaching is very, very different from what is in our what we are doing online. So having said that, let us move ahead and let us go ahead and see. I'll share my experience, what happened and how we went ahead with that. So you know that suddenly on March around 15th, everything closed down, and we had just started our 9th and 10th standard batch for 2020-21, because we start that for 9th and 10th standard early, and suddenly everything closed down and we did not know what to do. There was no time at all because we had our portions to complete. We had to start our work. So we thought it is a small for a few days and all. Maybe it will start immediately after 15 days. Maybe everything will be okay. So lesson well learned that it is still not okay, and we do not know when it is going to be okay. So when we started off, we had absolutely zero knowledge about what is how to go about the whole thing. How do we reach our students? How do we teach? So we started experimenting with certain small things, teachers recording on the board and teacher speaking on the board, writing on the board, and somebody else recording it. And we thought maybe we can send that and keep our work. But as we recorded, we saw a lot of problems, because from the board, everybody, the screen was not visible. We did not have any equipments, a lot of issues, and many of them. So we did not know what to do. So basically, we were lucky, by God's grace. One of our acquaintances walked in. He had some solution to that, some kind of some apps which are downloadable, easily available, and he wanted some kind of tab. Now everything had closed down, but somehow we managed to get 3 tabs for 3 schools. And for 4 or 5 days, these senior teachers of 8th, 9th and 10th were in front of him. They started making the modules. So that is where our journey started. And after that, there was a lot of discussion about what this can help and how can this help and what can we do, because we realized now this is something that is going to take a lot of time. It is not going away soon. So I'll just share my screen. So let me go to my share screen. I hope everybody can see this.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So what basically first of all, what we understood is what is online education. That online doesn't mean only live online education. It also means that online can go on without face-to-face. It can go on with the help of anything that you deliver through the internet. So all your worksheets, your videos, your YouTube videos, which are ready video, all those things will be a part of our online education. And so we stepped into with this knowledge that online doesn't only mean that we require to only have the teaching online, only doesn't mean live only. There are many things that we can share with the children, which will become a part of our teaching. So first we sat down to decide what are the challenges, and especially we realized that we have to see the challenges of the students and the parents also along with our challenges. So our challenges were many, as I said, getting the tabs or getting the equipments for the teachers, and all those things were there. Now coming to the parents, because without them being happy, this thing would never be a success. And we knew that there will be challenges, because not everybody, parents are very aware nowadays about their what you call as screen time of children. They are aware that the children should not be spending too much time on the screen. So taking this into consideration, we understood that when we are trying to send this, not everybody has got a device available. Not everybody has got enough bandwidth available. Many parents would be like in the primary will require to be with their children. They will not be able to handle things on their own. Parents with more than one child will have, if you have the same time for both children, so where are they going to get the infrastructure for it? Whether using a mobile is good enough or is it going to stress them more? Oh, as I said, then again, the wariness, general wariness about the screen time, then the online safety. So these are the things that we were there. Now, when we thought about further, if we thought, okay, let us give some worksheets, let us give some notes, something like that, then the question is again, either it is on the screen again, and other issue that is going to come out is, if I ask them to print a worksheet, how are they going to print a worksheet? The worksheets as such would not do unless I am able to, because everything had closed down. So there is no shop that they can go and print it also. So all these things we looked at. Even if I send something separate, which is not a part of online, still they will have to do it on screen only. So all these things were thought that we have to come out with a solution to all these things. If you have to make people accept that this is the norm for some time, it may not be perfect. Teachers are not geared for it. Teachers will have to be trained for it. But this is the only current solution that we have in our hands. So we decided that what now everybody knows, as asynchronous and synchronous. At that time we had not heard about this word, but now everybody knows about it. And that is what we learned, that we can have a asynchronous model or a synchronous model, both of them. In the asynchronous model, we knew that we get what we said, or sending videos, sending worksheets, using WhatsApp for communication, using other, giving the notes sent to the children's home by way of courier. These are all the asynchronous model of teaching. Whereas the synchronous is where it is live online, which is more engaging and effective. Instant feedback is possible, clarifications are possible, and there are various platforms like Zoom, Google Meet, and all these things. Ultimately, again, there was a lot of thinking, because when we started off, we started with the completely asynchronous model, because we had no idea about this Google Meet and Zoom. And we did not want to enter into a territory which we had no idea. So we decided, let us learn, understand what exactly we can do online, which is a directly synchronous method. And let us now stick to the video models. So that is where we started with the video models, because it sorted out many issues like bandwidth availability. The videos which we made were not recordings of the teachers. It was only the recording of the voice. So the size of that modules, where the bandwidth that it required was very, very small, because there was no videos as such in that. It was all PPT kind of present, the slides which were there, that's all. That is how it was there. So that helped us to a certain extent. So that helped the children to start off. But one big drawback of sending only this kind of modules is that children, of course, they had the very big advantage that they could do it at their read and study at their own time. There was no challenges of the time that they have to get up at 7 o'clock and do it, or 9 o'clock only they can do it. So that advantage was there, but at the same time, children were just not keen about it, because it is somebody speaking somewhere on the video, or the parents were forcing them to see it and they were watching it. Some were very serious about it, so there was no problem with those children. But the children who were not very serious, there was issue because they were just having it, just glancing it and not taking it very seriously. So the blended model is what we understood is going to work, because if you want to get the children serious, they will have to be visible to the teacher. Where the teacher is there, they are serious. They understand the importance of the teacher's teaching. Otherwise, children are children. I am not blaming them. They do not want to see a screen and learn so easily, which is of course the new norm all over the world. But then for children, it may not be possible. Still not be possible so easy, only when a screen is available and there is no live interaction. So this is the issue that we faced. And from here we started that we understood that both these things will have to be blended. And this is where the video lessons came into the picture. Now I'll come to the video lesson. I'll just share, I'll just run it through that how a video lesson looks like. Okay.
Hello students, this video is an initiative taken by Children's Academy Group of Schools. This is the 6th module of the chapter, which is agriculture, which was practiced in Mesopotamia. Today we shall learn about other occupations like domestication of animals and art and craft. We also will look at trade, the system of writing that developed in Mesopotamia, which is known as cuneiform. So let's begin with domestication of animals. Domestication of animals in Mesopotamia started with sheep, which was useful for wool and meat. Animals like goats and cows were a source of milk and meat. Oxen were used for farming and to pull wagons. Donkeys too were domesticated.
I hope everybody is getting it. I'll not go through the whole thing. I'll just skip through.
Yes, yes.
So some things.
Important storage containers for surplus food and water. Pots were carved with different designs, shapes, and patterns. They also used glaze and paint on their pots. The pots were hardened by putting their wool was a key. Some fragments of linen discovered in the Mesopotamians' most important achievement was metalworking. This of Queen Puabi, which was attached to a physical remains in the painting that was developed in Mesopotamia, which was cuneiform. People living in southern Mesopotamia developed one of the pictographs were objects and ideas instead of pictures. It's wedge-shaped. Wrote on it with a stylus, which was cut from these were called scribe of business dealings, trade, and the most complete written for and the weak and safeguarded the rights of women, the Babylonian god of justice. What do you think the Mesopotamians must have purchased from trade with the neighboring countries in order to up the region which did not have many natural resources? The Mesopotamians must have purchased from these countries? Right. Ancient Mesopotamia was a region which did not have many natural resources. Therefore, the peat and metal ores was absolutely right. They traded food grains and finished products like textiles and pots. For example, if I have surplus food, I will trade some of it to store my surplus historical accounts. The similarities between the goods found are: the seed was rolled onto a wet clay to leave an imprint. Thousands of these. We pause the video and refer to these notes. Of animals and art and craft. We also I've attached this picture from the textbook for you.
Okay, have you seen it?
Yes, yes.
So
Sir.
what you see here is this is a part. This is one module. Each module is not more than 10 minutes. You will, why we have shown the video that we have done is that how we have gone about that. Now we'll come to that how do we think of optimizing this video lesson. First of all, what has happened is there is a careful planning of content, animation and images is necessary, because if you see the teacher only on the screen all the time, that is going to be boring for the child. They have to get new things all the time on the screen. Second, it has to be age appropriate. I'll also go to, I'll come to the, and these three things I'll come together now. Scripting and planning is very important if you want to have a good video lesson made. Now I'll come to how your video, if I see this, now this is for that what you saw was for a higher class. Now what you are seeing is for a, this is the actually only a PPT. It is not the video as such. A video is not yet ready. This is the PPT that we have done. If you see, you will see the animation here are little bit of moving animations. This is for the small second standard child. If you can see this is for a grade 1 actually, not even grade 2. So this
We're
is
not able to see Rohan sir.
Sorry.
We're not able to see it.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Here it is showing screen share. Okay, 1 second. I'll just.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to stop and share it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me come back.
Yes.
Okay. See, this is for grade 1. So this is little slightly different if you see now from the previous module. That is a ready module which is already completed with a recording. Now this is not completed with the recording. This is the slides. There is no voice, so don't worry about it. There's voice has not yet come in. In between this PPT, we have embedded a video. There is a video which is embedded with that. I'm skipping that. It's about the child who ate a peanut and what happened after eating the peanut. This is the teaching part. It is not good to eat what is fallen. First standard child. There's also another video which is there which I'm skipping. Seems to be stuck somewhere. Okay, I'll end the show. Let it be. Now I'll come to, this is the PPT screen which you are seeing. I'll take up the next one. Now this is the, what you are seeing now is the script for it. Can you see? It is this is the script. So each one which you saw has got a ready script. It has got a, if it is a YouTube, we have taken it from YouTube, it is there. So it will have, now let us come to this part. Now you see that what did the boy eat? The teacher pauses and asks 2-3 students to share the information in the classroom. He ate a peanut. What happened after eating the peanut? So each slide teaches what the teacher is exactly going to speak has been there for each slide, and this is there from right from KG class to 10th standard. Everybody has got a fixed script so that we don't have a situation, especially because we have 3 schools. where one teacher is teaching one concept for 5 minutes and the other teacher is teaching the same concept for 15 minutes. There is going to be a difference in the both the things then. So this is how this scripting is done, and you can see in blue it is written. I want you to note down the important points in your notebook. So if you see slide 15 here, I'll not go to that, it is taking time. So you'll see that there are certain things where we are telling them, the child is note down certain parts, note down the parts of the arm in their notebook. So this is how it exactly comes up. Now I'll go back to our original this about. So we are talking about careful planning and being age appropriate, and also about scripting. So when you do these things, there is a lot of advantages which happens. You know, planning, I don't want to speak about that. Age appropriate, now when you see what we did with our higher class and what you see in the lower class. The lowest class has got a lot of moving animations, whereas the senior classes are having pictures which are relevant. So it will have to be age appropriate. You can't use this kind of funny creature for a higher class, and you can't have a boring script for a lower class, a boring screen for a lower class. You have to keep them engaged. So using of animation is very for the younger ones especially, is highly encouraged. Slides, if you see, all those slides which you saw were not very text heavy or cluttered. Very few textual words were actually used, and you saw that how the arrows came up highlighting the important points. When you see the teacher speaking in the ready module, you would have found that she is speaking as she is speaking in the class. What do you think, children, would happen? What is your opinion about this? So even if it is a module, we encourage them to talk in such a way that you are looking engaged and don't have a monotonous sound. And when the teacher is using in the classroom, she uses the same thing, video lesson. Thinking that if it is a video lesson, it should be one-sided. No, she is still asking the question. She is pausing, but she may just go ahead with their answer. There is nobody relating back. But when you pause, what happens is, when you ask a question and pause, it makes the child think about what is the teacher asking about. So that is for the video lesson which is there. So now we'll come to the length of the video. You can see that mostly the video length is usually a thumb rule used is grade plus 5 minutes. So nothing more than 10 minutes for a video lesson. Other tips, we are just in short: use phrases, pauses and voice modulation to emphasize important points. Rehearse the script well in advance before you record it. That will avoid the unnecessary fillers like all those things which comes up in between if you are not ready. And if you see, there is nothing on the screen that the teacher is just reading out. The script is separate, which is not visible to the children. Teacher is reading from the script and not from the slide. Keep your voice conversational and explain in detail. Just because it is online, you did not skip on things, and things which require to be detailed have to be in detail. So these are the things for the video lesson which is ready. Now what we do is, in the live classroom, the same video lesson is used. Some people are comfortable with using the ready module with the voice off. Some are more comfortable with using the PPT, so she has complete control on when she wants to go to the next screen. We have left it to them to decide what they want to do. So for online teaching now, the most important thing is to have enough teaching practice to the teachers. Remember, they have never done something like that. And for our school, we had hours and hours and hours of practice where each teacher used to have a set of, they used to have a group of 10, 15 teachers, couple of them senior, and each teacher used to become a teacher and the remaining used to become a student. And she had to go through each of these where she has to go from one thing to other thing, maybe go from being live in the class to sharing her screen, going to some other PPT, whatever they wanted to do. But we got them all trained, because when the first impression, as you say, is the last impression usually. So if your teacher on the first day fumbles and makes some glaring errors, the child or the parent would be put off with that. So the day you go online with the class, it has to be perfect. So at least that day has to be perfect. So each teacher has to be very, very, very thoroughly prepared for that day, because when they see, yes, my teacher is teaching and I am able to learn. So that is important. Second, when you go online, remember to have a trial session with your students, just off the record, without the teaching happening, but conversation happening, making them habituated to putting their audio and video off. Now, this is a very grave concern in Google Meet, which we are doing, because unlike Zoom, it doesn't allow everybody to be shut off or shut down, but everybody has got the control with them. So the first thing we did for 2-3 days is each teacher, wherever she was teaching, you are seeing the scripting. If the scripting says the teacher will pause and ask questions. So we taught them also at that time to say, so and so student, please unmute yourself, answer this question. And there would be 5 children other who would get up. Then we have to say, you so and so, please put off, you put off, you put off. I will only allow one child. So this took 3, 4, 5 days for the younger ones, because they are the more enthusiastic ones. And within 4 or 5 days, this problem was sorted out. So have them habituated to that is the first thing in the first few days. Even if the lesson is incomplete, we said that is fine, but let us start with the disciplining first. For higher classes, you can experiment with the chat box. Like I can see there are a lot of chat in our box also. Teacher can always go and see. Now here again, you will see what I saw, that I showed you, that there is some kind of writing work, keeping them engaged with questions and with writing work. It cannot be one simultaneously teacher going on talking. Engaging them is very important. Surprise it, calling out the names or the roll numbers, whatever is visible to the student teacher, calling them out in this, asking them to stop, write down certain things. Everybody may not write, but then at least the sincere ones will write. But what will happen is that they will get a break from the monotony in that half an hour. Younger children, include some physical activity, like go and get this thing from your house. 2 minutes, run and get something. So getting them to get up and do something. And when you are recapitulating or something at the end, which is very important, don't use the normal routine question answer format. Use some interesting games, puzzles, crosswords, something like that. So this kind of guidelines help the online classroom, and it has helped a lot. I'll be just ending. I think I have passed my almost nearing half an hour. So
Absolutely.
Now I'll just finish with this also, then, because that we don't keep it pending. Now what we look forward is what will happen in the next few months. We are looking at another 3 months, July, August, September, nothing happening. So we are looking at that this blended learning is going to go on, but blended will change a little. Online teaching will continue, as many parents will be unwilling to send the children to the school. Those coming to school, we will cannot go on teaching them separately, and online, those who are not in school, separately. So we are thinking that teaching may have to go on online only, because the whole total online teaching, even for a senior class of 10th standard, is approximately in around 3 hours. We try and not go beyond that, because timing for small children, for the children, is very, very important. going around for 5 hours like a regular classroom is not good. We have to, what we do is we give them modules for the craft, art work, which anyway they are interested in, and they can put it on and they can do it on their way. And the whole thing is very clearly explained to them. So they don't require to be online with the teacher at that time. So that online is limited to the most important subjects. So this regular teaching may not be possible for quite some time. So that is what our take is. So there will be two parts. Online will happen. Those who are coming to school may have more of revision session, more of writing sessions, which will be missing at home. Or call them for a very short duration of time, maybe twice a week, thrice a week, give them 1 hour, 2 hour where they only will write, finish their examination kind of things, assessments kinds of things, and that is how it will go on. Your staff is going to be divided. Some of them will be required in the school, some will be required for teaching online, because every burden, all of them cannot take all the burden. Online classes, the offline classes, all the children are not coming in a day. Like we can have 3 classes, maybe 15 children coming in a day. So we have 45 students, but that 45 students may be of 3 different divisions. So they may come together because all children are not going to come. So we may have to combine instead of having 40 students in a class, we may have 80 or 120 students in a class, so that teachers can be allotted duties here. So this is the way forward we are looking at. Teachers also, we do not want them to be traveling unnecessarily, because travel is one thing which is where the danger of the transmission of the virus is going to take place. School may run longer hours but with fewer classes, or it may be the other way around. It may run with fewer hours with more classes. We'll have to look at it. Also, as you go ahead, we are looking at using external apps like Jamboard, Padlet and all for the higher students. Teachers are researching and working on it, so that they have something new to do every time, because they are otherwise going to be bored very, very soon with this kind of, because this is not something that can keep their interest up all the night. You'll have to keep on coming with something new once in a while to keep them interested. So this is how we look at the whole thing. I will stop my sharing, and that should give you a rough idea of what we are doing. Any other questions I'll take later on. I think we have another speaker, so I'll not take any more time. I hope it has been useful. People have been able to get what exactly we are doing. I'd like to get more ideas from others to see what way we can improve our work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rohan sir. It was really an insightful, detailed learning for us. One thing that now I'm a little conscious about my ahs and ums, but it might happen because this is an impromptu speech that I am giving. Pardon me for that. Definitely, one thing I also learned from your presentation was that a lot can be given in a very short time to the students, because the time that we usually spend in minding the class has got eliminated, and that has got used to teaching more informative things to the students. In fact, also the presentation helps us to put our thoughts more crystal clear and precise, which again is a very good takeaway for the students. Thank you so much, Rohan sir. We will definitely take the questions afterwards, but before that, we have to again call Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava ma'am and her colleague, Ms. Kajal Seth, who will also help us to understand technology better, and will also share some tips that they have been using. Believe me, these team of Sangeeta ma'am and Kajal ma'am have been working extensively with the international schools, ICC school, but equally with the state board schools. So the variety is going to be huge, and I'm sure we'll have better takeaways from them also, along with what we just learned from Rohan sir. So welcome Sangeeta ma'am and welcome Kajal ma'am, and please enlighten us with your experiences.
Yes, thank you, Girish sir. Thank you, Rohan sir. You have explained the practical aspects of how to run an online class very nicely, and with minute details you have given, which are very useful for all of us. I'll take you through some technical issues that we as principals, and especially the principals of state board schools and government aided schools who might have not started full-fledged online teaching, and they are still looking at the options, what to go about, which tool is better than the other. So we'll just take you quickly through it, although Rohan sir has covered a lot. I'll only take the points that he hasn't touched. So here we want to say that we have to choose the best digital platform of teaching and learning, so that as principals, we can lead the entire online class like a professional. And for this, let us go slide by slide. And I want to tell you that online teaching is divided into three parts. One is products and applications. Second is the data security. And third is the content management, about which Rohan sir also spoke. To start an online class, the schools who are still not started, you have to know that we need a good internet connection and the input device for like stylus, and software is like the platforms. So there are two types of class. Rohan sir spoke about it, where recorded video classes and live class. Live class needs a strong internet connection and the software and the input device, whereas recorded class, you may not need the internet connection, and you may not even require the paid softwares. Sometimes you can sometimes the input devices are required, and we all know that there are many open resources available, and most of the platforms are also, they are giving us free to use. Okay, so in the recorded lectures, lecture can be recorded and posted on YouTube channels. You can make your own YouTube channel, very easy and free. And when you have to publish it, there are three options we get if you after making a video. One is that you can keep it private, and you can with whom you want to share, only those people can see it. Second option is unlisted, which we generally do with our children, that we share the link of the videos and all those who get the link can look at it. And the third one is the public. Now there are some benefits of recorded lecture. Rohan sir already told about it, that we can make small videos, and only of the part which is a bit difficult and children need to look at it again and again. Those small parts, teacher can record that difficult part of the video and upload it or share it with the children. And some children, they miss the lecture, or there are overlapping, or because most of them go to the classes also. So it helps to keep it as a backup for them, the recorded lectures. Then comes the next slide. Yes. So where children can take children are not able to take notes, they can keep the recorded lecture. They can listen to the lecture again and again, and they can have a full archive of all the session of the lecture, and all these benefits are there. And if there's no question of losing notes or not finding their notes in the last minute, because everything is properly stored. And there are some negative effects, like sometimes listening to the recorded lectures, if it is longer or difficult, it takes more time. And sometimes children get little, you can say they feel little, they're not very active. They feel that I'll get the recorded lecture anyways. So sometimes they don't pay a lot of attention in the classroom. And if recording is not good, again, there's a problem. So these are negative effects. Now in the recorded lecture, again, there are some challenges, like real-time question answers cannot happen. And it does not, if your lecture has been recorded a few days back and there is some updated information, so you need to go back and see that your lecture is up to date. But for that, you can always have a WhatsApp group with the children, and you can have that question answer sessions in the WhatsApp groups or in Telegram group, which is an Indian, same as WhatsApp group. You can have discussions and resolve the queries of children. Now, let us look at the products and applications. So we have the product as Zoom, then we have Microsoft Teams, we have free conference call, which is Indian, then Google, Cisco WebEx. There's another one, Say Namaste, which is Indian. Skype, and many more are there. Many more are coming every day. Yesterday, I came to know about the Geo app, which is almost as same as Zoom, but only the problem, they are still working on it. And let me tell you, all these Indian apps which have come up now, they are still in a stage of being made public, and they are still in the stage of upgradations. Like Geo app is not offering a Facebook or YouTube live streaming, whereas in Zoom you can do that. So we have been holding classes where we have, when we want a lot of children to join, for example, if there's a dance class, and we don't need to have separate classes for different standards, because it's a common class. So you can have it on Zoom and then live stream it on the YouTube, where any number of children can just join, and YouTube also allows the live chat. So it is as good as joining a Zoom room. Okay. We'll go to the next one. Now, before choosing an app for the digital classroom, we have to see how many participants you will be having, meeting time limit, data security and compliance of that app, student and teacher interaction and question answers, study material that you want to share. Are you going to use the whiteboard by the teacher? Later on, we'll tell what is a whiteboard facility, and how you will allot assignments and projects to children. Will you make you want live recording available? Conduct a lecture for specific batch or class? App has to be user friendly, which can be easily used by students and teachers, and procedure that is involved to schedule a lecture at regular intervals. That is the main thing that a principal needs here. Maintaining records of assignments, mark sheets, etc. at one place, and it should also be economical and cost effective. So I think after this, I will request Kajal Sheth to take us through the features and comparisons of different platforms that I just mentioned. She has done some research, and she has also implemented in several international and ICSE schools this entire thing, the classroom and the timetable making and other features she will be able to explain. So I request Kajal Sheth to take over.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Kajal Sheth. First of all, before start, I would like to thank Atoshar Gua sir, Rohan sir, Sangeeta ma'am, and Dalvi sir. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my experience with all the principals. I hope it will, help you out for to take that decision and for setting up an online classroom. So I have tried to cover all the technical difficulties which you might be facing. Still, if you feel any of the pointers are missing, you can highlight that point, and we can try to resolve your queries in the end of this meeting. So I'll start with the products and applications. There's a comparison sheet where I have mentioned Google Meet, Zoom free version, Zoom paid version, FaceTime, Facebook Live, Microsoft Teams free version, Microsoft Teams paid version, Google Hangout, free conference call, Skype. I have not covered GeoMeet yet because it's on a beta version. So we can even include that also now, because GeoMeet is also a good platform. So if you can see here the comparison between how many participants they are providing, what are the time limits, what are the features are available in this particular platform. So you can take a comparative sheet out of this table. Here I'll give you a short comparison. What is the difference between other products, and what is the difference between Microsoft Teams and a Google? See, the other features will give you only the audiovisual conferencing. You can share your study material with the students. You can do a online classroom activity with any of the applications. But if you are looking out for end-to-end solution, like including a online classroom where teachers will be able to assign the assignments to the students, and they can do a grading functionality. So all these features, you are looking out for a cloud-based application where your all the teachers and online classroom data will store in the one place. Then I would prefer you should go for a Microsoft Teams or a Google, because this two applications will give you an end-to-end solution in a single platform. But rest of the other platforms will give you just an online classroom functionality where you just have where you will be able to just do a online conferencing. So out of this all this platform, I have compared with the three most running platform in the market, that is Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google. 90% of the schools are using these three platforms in that school. So you can see the participants are, Zoom is providing 100 participants free on free version. Microsoft Teams is providing 300 participants, and Google is providing 100 participants. And the time limit is for Zoom is 40 minutes, Google is for 60 minutes, and Microsoft Teams is providing 24 hours. Rest all features are same in all of the three products. But here you will have to choose an application for a future point of view. It's not like Microsoft Teams is providing 300 right now, so you should go for a Microsoft Teams. You have to look out for a future point of view, what will be your investment in the future. Right now they are providing it free of cost, but what about the later on? What about after September? So this all things you have to look out as in future point of view and take your decision accordingly. So here I'll help you out for the economical and cost-effective benefits. Zoom is providing a 20 host for educational. They are providing 20 hosts, 100 participants, and a cost is $1,800. That means you have to spend $1,35,000 on yearly basis. And Microsoft Teams and Google, this both are features wise is more or less similar, but Microsoft Teams is a bundle of mailing solution with the video conferencing Office 365. That means it's not only for the audio visual conferencing. You will be able to create your class. You will be able to share the assignments with the students. So many more things are available in the Microsoft Teams. Same way you can use the Google platform. This both applications we can help you out to do in a one-time setup cost. You don't have to worry about annual cost and rest of the things. But for the setup, you would be required a setup. I mean, the professional help to do a setup as per your organization requirement. So on this both platform, we will be able to help you out to do setup in your organization. So if you are looking out for Microsoft Teams or Google, you have not done any setup yet in your school, then we'll be happy to help you out. Now, journey of the online classroom setup. What are the things are required? So here we can say journey starts from the training requirements. So upskilling our own teachers, it's necessary, because if our own teachers will be well trained, they will be able to take class as in professionally. They will be able to use all the tools and all. So training is necessary for the teachers to to conduct an online classroom in a professional way. Second is scheduling a meeting. Scheduling a meeting, I have observed that many of the schools are creating a meeting. Teachers are creating meetings and sharing with the students by using WhatsApp and Instagram group. So I feel this is not a right way as a security point of view, because in this step, what IT person is informing you that you have to keep your classroom students email ID and phone number with you, and you have to create your timetable and share with them a meeting link via using WhatsApp or Instagram group. So indirectly, as an organization or principal point of view, indirectly you are sharing your students and parents data with a teacher, and you are informing to teachers that you have to create your meeting links and share with the students by using email or WhatsApp group. So here I will give you an idea how to schedule a meeting without sharing a sharing a parents and students data with teachers. How to conduct an online class. So online class, to conduct in an online classroom is, it will include all the features like how to mute, unmute all the participants, how you can share your contents, what are the things are necessary to, take up precautions while taking an online class. All these things are required for before starting an online classroom training. So after that, we have to maintain a record. If you are going for a Microsoft Teams or Google or any of the platform, how you are maintaining your records, how you are maintaining how many students have attended this meeting, what are the assignments class teachers has given to the students, what are the result of that classroom. So all these things will come under the maintaining of the records. And last is organization requirement setup. So here we will be able to help you out whatever things are required as an organization point of view. We will analyze your requirement and give you a proper guidance how you can do your setup as in future point of view, because the base structure is necessary to do an online classroom. After base setup is done, you will be able to use these features for lifelong. So first step is how to schedule your meeting. You can create, you are using, many of you are using a Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google. So all these products are, integrated with the Google Calendar. So you just have to visit a calendar.google.com and create your classroom, create your meeting invites. Accordingly, it will help you out for the notifications and rest of the other functionalities. How to make an interactive using different tools. So Rohan sir has already covered all these points very well. So I will not go into details with this point, but will give you a short ideas in the pointers point of view. Like you can use a whiteboard and Jamboard functionality by using and for the written tool, like the way you are using the physical classroom. The same way you can use that whiteboard and Jamboard functionality in the computerized. If you want, I can show you the live demonstration for the whiteboard and Jamboard. A second is a PowerPoint presentation. You can use a PowerPoint presentation very interactive by including images, text, audio, visual presentations. That way you can make your presentation and share with the students, and you can use that content in your classroom. Same way you can create a Google Forms or a quiz after lectures getting over. You just have to quiz functionality, which will help you out. Students are able to understand your lecture or not. So all these features, you can use the PDF file, you can use the flipbook functionality. Those who are habit of reading the books, they will be able to view that book in the flipbook. It's just a digital book system where they will be able to just turn the page into computer and they will be able to read. It is same as we are reading a physical book. So you can use these functionalities by making them interactive. Now we'll go for the benefits of the Google. So here I have mentioned some pointers for give you an highlights of the Google. So you can create a students and teachers email ID, which they can use through Gmail. And you can do video conferencing during the class. That is a plus point of this platform. You can do a Teams messaging system. You can share your calendar. You can, you will get unlimited cloud storage. So all this data will store in one place. So all these features are there. You can do, you can use a documentation, spreadsheet, presentations by using a Google Docs. So features of the Google are, collaborative anywhere. All these Google Docs are, you can access from anywhere. The plus point over here is like if you are, you are aware that many of the students are facing internet connectivity issue, then you can use this functionality by, creating an offline class. not offline class, but they will be able to use your content, offline content, for like whatever teachers have, presented in the class, like Google Doc sheet or presentations or a slide or a drive folder. So they will be able to access that content offline without internet also. So we have to, do such setup where students will be able to view that content without internet. Other thing is like communication way for Google is like you can use a Gmail, you can use a Google Meet, you can use a Google Chat functionality. As I've already said, we can create a classroom in the Google. We can, assign the assignments to the students. You can create a Google Forms and, take the quizzes and surveys and questionnaires with the students. So all these features are available in the Google, which will, give you highlighters and benefits for the organization. So I will give you one idea for the brainstorming by using this functionality. So what is brainstorming? Suppose you have some project in your hand. Like for example, you have a science project in your hand, and you want to involve 5 teachers and 10 students with who can work on this project. So here, how you can do the setup? You have to create a group, and by creating this group, you will be able to add on this individuals in that particular group, and you can share the contents. Everyone will be able to interact with each other, and they will be able to share the content. You will get an idea, you can do the discussion in that particular group. So it is as good as like we do a meeting in our office. So same way you can create such a group, and then you can do an interaction with the all the group members by using this all these pointers. Now we'll give you a tips to go paperless. How you can convert your paper activity into paperless. So you can create a Google Forms instead of paper surveys, like the way we are giving the worksheets and all to the students by filling up and then submit it back. So all these things we can convert it into a Google Form and online forms system, and then it will be easy for you to analyze the data also. It will be easy for you to grading point of view also. So this will be beneficial to save the papers and our data security also, and the result will give you a more better way in spite of using a physical paper activity. Second point is you can store your content in a single drive instead of using a printing material and share it with everyone. You can use the virtual bulletin board. So all these features, you can use the PDF scanner. The all products are available in our phone. So you just have to scan that image. It will convert it into PDF format, and then you can store it on your drive. So that way you can save your papers. Microsoft Teams, it's a bundle of Office 365, so which will include a Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Publisher. All these things are integrate with the Microsoft Teams, so which we are using on daily basis, right? So these things will give you a benefit by using in Microsoft Teams. If you are using Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint on daily basis, this will migrate it with your Microsoft Teams. They will provide you a 50 GB mailbox, 1 TB for OneDrive storage, and SharePoint online. You can create form, planners, newsletters, create users, groups. All this, the functionality is same with between the Google and Microsoft Teams. Even Microsoft Teams has a more functionality than a Google. So Microsoft Teams, you will be able to do a organization setup. They will provide you a OneNote in education. That means OneNote is a comprehensive solution for the education, which includes organization digital content by sections and pages. Teachers can access, collaborate, and share content with the students, add text, images, audio, video, digital link to any of the page. So this way you can use this functionality for make your classroom interactive. They are providing Intune for education. That means Intune is a perfect solution for device management. You can control your what are the things you have to, give it to the access to the teachers and students, and what are the things possible in your Microsoft Teams. So all this, you as a IT, you will be able to control. As an organization point of view, you can restrict some things from doing from the student side. So all these things is possible to control. So they are providing Azure for identity protection. That means we can create our own IT infrastructure over here. So whatever things the server knowledge, the person who has a server knowledge, they will be able to create an infrastructure for you. So here we can help you out for give you a better idea how to do the setup. The setup will be look like, you can create a setup like this. The root will be your organization. You can create a students, teachers, staff, guests. So what are the things is, assign them rights. So this way we will be able to help you out the proper setup as a data security point of view. If you have a multiple schools, we will be able to create an infrastructure for you, while as a management you have a single name. The management is single, they have multiple branches, so they can create an infrastructure in such a way, like for school 1, school 2, school 3, so they will be able to access by using a single login ID. So that way login will be better for all the organization. If you are principal for 3 sections, we can create a 3 sections for you, but you don't have to log in with 3 different login ID and password. So this way we will help you out for the setup. If you have any questions, you can ask, or else if you later on you required our help or coordination, you can call me on 8850131838. I'll mention that in the screen, and we can discuss more for details. Thank you so much.
Kajal ma'am. Thank you, Sangeeta ma'am. It was wonderful. It was very extensive actually to understand, and I love the comparison that you gave with regard to the apps, because that gives you a quick glance of understanding what could work best for me as a school, and it also gave me a lot of options. I remember one app which is a very funny name. I heard it in one of the webinars. It's called Kaizala. It's a Marathi word, Kaisala. It is a substitute to WhatsApp, where you can actually stop parents interacting and still have a lot of activities done as an app, where again you don't have to focus on the screen time. Parents can have it as and when with the child, and it uses very little bandwidth to transfer data. So thank you so much, Kajal ma'am. It was very informative. As I said, I'm sure most of my principals will also agree that we need to have your extensive session for our teachers.
We will do.
Specifically, the project thing that you mentioned was very nice. Teachers will like to use it for this higher classes. We come to almost the end of today's OFP meet, but before that, let me ask my audience if they have any questions for Rohan sir, or Sangeeta ma'am, or Kajal ma'am, or for that matter, just I want to appreciate, please put your appreciations and questions on the chat box. We would love to read them. I'm sure many of you have already done it, but still you can repeat it because that will be nice. Thank you. And now, before I hand it over to our special person, Dr. Suresh Nair sir, to give the vote of thanks, let me make the next programs that we have lined up for you, so that you can book your calendar. Physically write in your calendar. We will not send you the Google Calendar links, because I'm sure all my principals love to make their own notes. So our next webinar is going to happen in association with Singhania School on 8th of July, where we would again be discovering many more ways of building this new normal into our school, which will in future become a regular normal. So that is what is the process, the objective of behind which Dr. is working. And we have other schools also. I will not announce the dates for those webinars because they are yet to be scheduled. But we are happy that Euro School has accepted the invitation and will be our third host. We also have Little Angels School. The best part is, again, this is another SSC school which is very active, like Sangeeta ma'am's school, and they will also be hosting it. We will continue this series in the month of August, where we have New Horizon Public School, and most probably we would have Bombay Scottish also hosting one of the OFP meets in the month of August. So I'm so glad that finally we have begun in this academic year our OFP meet, and to celebrate, of course, the rains were showering since morning and they have stopped completely. So it's a delight to see that nature is also with us, welcoming our new initiative. And here over to Dr. Suresh Nair, sir, to give the vote of thanks.
Just
Okay,
a
sir
minute,
has to
just
speak.
before, yes. First of all, I want to thank Sangeeta ma'am and Kajal ma'am. Really very informative session for an old man.
Pleasure, sir.
A lot of things I will not be able to apply, but then I have Anuna ma'am and Girish sir in my institution to take care. But really, I learned a lot. And Rohan sir, everything is just justified, just superb. Very frankly, as I said, as performing artist, we do this. You know, for all my life skill teachers, I have 180 life skill trainers in my institution. It's every month, even long before all this happened, they would actually be taking classes, and all of us, say if somebody's taking a lecture for second standard, we would behave as second standard children and they would take it. And exactly that's what, and as we said, you are training your teachers. Thank you, Rohan sir. It's lovely in our presentation skills also. We teach, these are the things that we actually imbibe. So I'm so grateful to you for agreeing to come here and show us the way you have researched. And important is to understand the psyche of the children of each age group. And that's how to keep it interesting and engaging. Thank you so much, all the three of you.
I remember one thing now. All those who have been with Nityanjali for years have already gone through these performing arts training. I think the demand is going to increase now for us. Rekha ma'am, I can see your thumbs up. Definitely now the demand for Nityanjali faculty members to coach online performing art skills will be relevant today. So we look forward to these sessions also. Without much ado, let me now hand it over to Dr. Suresh Nair sir for the vote of thanks.
Good evening. Thank you very much, sir. First and foremost, I would like to thank on behalf of my personal behalf and on behalf of OFP, our founder, chairman, Dr. Tushar Guha, for being thought of this type of a session to start with. And of course, today's main speaker, Mr. Rohan Bhatt, is one of the patrons of Open Forum for Principals. He was very active when the Open Forum for Principals started functioning. Now is become as patron to OFP. Sir, Rohan sir has talked to us as if he has come out from conducted the research work and done it. It's not as if, I should say that it is exactly the research work we take, because I have even come to know what is asynchronous and synchronous online classes and all, because I was not knowing this before. This and all the details about the online, because we all have started, or many of us must have started the online classes later session. You have started first, so many things you have already come across with, the difficulties, challenges, etc., advantages, merits, disadvantages, etc. You must have already come across, and you have put across everything. And there's many things which we, even now also, we have not thought of it. So on behalf of all the principals and OFP, I would like to thank you very much for this today's session, sir. And of course, Girish Dalvi, sir, always my close friend, is the head of director of OFP. We normally, as he said in the beginning, that we always keep the OFP sessions after the rainy season get over. But luckily, this Corona season has put us in the forefront. We have started in July itself this time. all other committee members of OFP, Seema Sablok Madam, this Revati Srinivasan Madam, and all are all. I have to thank you for this for the functioning of OFP in a different way. Different way. I'll just. I have started this video before, but it was off. Put off by the host. I thought that it must have been done already. So I didn't realize it also. And of course, I have to thank Sangeeta Madam for hosting today's session. Sangeeta Madam was so kind enough to host this, because some 4 or 5 principals have thought of initially we have thought of just conducting this type of sessions for all the principals of. See, we are not even putting any limits of Mumbai westward or northward, southward, etc. So in our principal team, the principals of many schools are there, not even SSC. ICSC, CBSE, all the principals are there. In Maharashtra, all over Maharashtra, we people are there as the members over there. So we have thought of just sharing our ideas. Whatever one has got, the same can be shared to other people so that it can be useful to the other people. So Sangeeta Madam, very thank you to have hosted this one. And of course, the technical sessions have been given by Kajal Sheth. Kajal Sheth, one thank you for giving the technical support, and the other thank you for giving a very good insight into different platforms, and particularly the Google. And I would like to ask a question after this. You can answer me also. That my school, and there are many of the aided schools, will be having a very high not attendance, the strength in the class, that is around 60 to 70. So right now, even I'm also using Zoom, and we are also using Zoom platform. But I would like to shift to Google platform, as you have said. So I would like to know more from you to go for it, and whatever help you can do for us, and all the things, whatever is there, any expenses there that we are ready to share for it. There is no problem. So please let us know how we can go ahead for it, and we can, if we can get your number and all, the contact number and all. So I would like to go for it.
I will request Kajal ma'am to drop her name and number and email address in the chat box. All of us can get in touch with her. Another thing that I would like to add before we end is that this video will be available on Nrityanjali's social media. So do watch our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and our Instagram, and you will be able to see this video again. So thank you, everyone. Kajal ma'am has already put her contact. It will come as Make My System. So don't confuse with the name. It's Kajal ma'am's number. We all hope to see you on 8th of July when we will be interacting through the Singhania platform as our next host.
Sir, 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, 1 minute. I would like to thank all the participants of today's webinar, so that it has, we could make it a grand success. And Rohan sir, once again, I should thank you, because there are certain things which we have not thought of it also. So, in fact, you have come across this type of problems. That's why you have, accepted that challenges and all, because we did not come across it. So we are still in the nursery or pre-primary stage only. You have already reached to somewhat higher stage, sir. Once again,
no need
once again,
you can come to us. We know
yes, sir.
Problem, we can give you the.
Thank you.
Let you know the problem coming up.
In fact, Rohan sir has kept it open for everybody.
We also add that if they want how to make the modules, Girish.
Yes, Rohan sir.
Definitely, sir. Otherwise, also Rohan sir was also always helpful for helping others. He cooperates with each and everybody for anything. Sir, we will definitely come to you for making the how to make the modules and all the things. So, see, sir, we are the SSC people with the least resources with us. So we have to tap the resources like we are active. Okay, thank you very much, and I wish all the best to all of you. Tushar sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Some of you asked where this recording will be available. I repeat, it will be available on the Nrityanjali YouTube channel. You can go through the entire video there. It will be uploaded by tomorrow,
Sir,
and you can all visit that page. Yes, sir.
sir, we can put the same video in the OFP website.
OFP.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. The
Yes.
link will be shared on the website too.
Those principals who are
And
not
Rohan
the
sir
members.
has been sharing his. Yeah, they will also
No.
get it. They will also
Those,
get it because all
those
those have
principals
attended.
who
will
are
get
not
it.
the members of OFP, Open Forum for Principals, please become a member. There is no fees for it and there is no charge or money later on also. You can just become a member by just giving your details and your school details and all the things. You will be a part and parcel of OFP. Anywhere,
Absolutely.
anytime.
Absolutely. We
There is
have
no money involved.
few who are from outside Mumbai also today in the webinar.
We
Yeah.
have Sangeeta Mehrotra madam is seen, I think. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, she's from Sholapur.
So as I was saying earlier, Rohan sir has already shared some of his video links, and some of the schools from Mumbai as well as outside Mumbai are using them. So please feel free to reach me or Rohan sir, and you will get the links, the drive link, from where you can download these beautiful videos and use it in your classroom. With that note, I end today's OFP meet formally and keep this platform open for another 5 minutes to have a informal interaction. So please switch on your audios and speak. And I'm muting myself. That is the best way.